What is happening with Nnamdi Kanu's case? Here is the latest. The appeal is already ongoing. It is not a rumor against speculation and what many people are saying. His legal team confirmed that the notice of appeal has been filed. It was filed on February 2026, which officially started the appeal process. That means the case has moved from trial stage to appellate stage. That is the time of appealing. In simple terms, the case has left the lower court and is now before a higher court for review. Here is why it is important. Kanu was sentenced to life imprisonment in November 2025. His appeal is asking the court to cancel the conviction, quash the sentence, possibly set him free if the appeal succeeds. That is what he is asking. Some may not know what appeal means. That is why I'm trying to tell us. What his lawyers is saying now. His lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, is warning people, ignore false rumors flying online. The appeal is live and progressing normally. This next stage will be court hearings and legal arguments. So we are expecting court soon. Nnamdi Kanu will be seen in court probably. And this means no secret release, no hidden deal. Everything is still in court process. So the real situation is Kanu is not released. He is not secretly freed. He is not forgotten. His case is now in appellate stage. Lawyers are working on legal documents. Court will decide if the judgment was right or wrong. Now, here is the important thing to note. Appeals like this can take months or even years. But this one is within months. The judgment was passed last year. So it will go through multiple legal arguments. And in the end, it's either the sentence is upheld or it is reduced or everything is overturned completely. That is what you should know. But here's the bottom line. Right now, the case is active and ongoing. The appeal has started officially and story claiming he has been freed or case has ended is false for now. Let's quickly go to Abia State. Remember, this is Igbo land news. Things happening around Igbo people everywhere they are. This is what we're focused on. Something happened in Abia State, and here is what the police is saying. The real situation behind the viral news about 400 Boko Haram in Abia. According to the Nigerian police force, Abia Command, they claim that 400 to 488 Boko Haram members entered or were arrested in Abia is false. The viral video spreading online is old. It's, according to them, over 11 years ago. It was recycled to create panic. And police described the story as false, misleading, and meant to cause fear and unrest. So they said no confirmed Boko Haram infiltration in Abia. And there is no official report of Boko Haram moving into Abia. And there's no arrest of 400 plus Boko Haram fighters. The entire story started from social media rumors, plus old footage, old videos. Why did people believe it? Let's be honest, this is why it spread fast. Recent insecurity challenges in Nigeria, kidnappings, unknown gunmen, and fear that terrorism is spreading from the north. Nigerians always don't trust official information easily. So once the video came out, people panicked. They are right to panic because, you know, we are all in Nigeria. We know what is happening. And here's the truth. According to the police, let me break it down for you. No Boko Haram invasion in Abia State as of now, and no 400 terrorists caught. No confirmed movement like that, according to them. It is fake news recycled with old video. That's according to them. And here is police warning. This one is very important. Note, listen. The police didn't just deny it. They also warned anyone spreading such fake news can be arrested and prosecuted because such falls under criminal code, under cyber crime laws. The bottom line, right now, Abia State is not under Boko Haram attack. The viral story is false. The tension is based on misinformation, not confirmed intelligence. But here is my honest take on this. This is where you must be careful. Yes, this story is false. But It doesn't mean Nigeria has no insecurity issues. And that is why a lot of people are afraid. And Boko Haram is still active in the northeast. There have been real attacks even in this 2026. So don't panic, but don't be careless either. Don't be careless, be watchful. Now let's get to the next story. First of all, who is Amaka Onwugalo? A top Nigerian banker with over 30 years experience. She is expert in treasury management, corporate banking, financial strategy. She is known for quiet but strong leadership, not social media noise, real results. And here's the big news about her. She has made history as first female chairman of Fidelity Bank PLC. Appointment took effect from January 1st, 2026. We are reporting this late, but then for the records. So this is a major milestone, especially in Nigeria's banking sector where leadership has long been male-dominated. That is it. So let's talk about her career, her journey. She didn't just appear. She rose step by step. She was a former deputy managing director at Sky Bank, former group managing director of Main Street Bank, and earlier made history as one of the first female bank CEOs acting in Nigeria. Currently also CEO of Blue Shield Financial Services, meaning this is someone who has already handled big money, big banks, and big decisions. Why her appointment matters? This is bigger than just one woman getting a title. Women rise in banking. Banking in Nigeria is now seeing more women in top power positions. Note, from the CEO of Fidelity Bank is a woman, Nneka Onyeali. That means chairman, woman, CEO, woman. That's a rare power shift. But we're in a critical time for the bank. She is stepping in when the bank is expanding internationally, including UK markets. She is stepping in when the bank is strengthening capital over 500 billion naira recapitalization level. She is stepping in when the bank is growing aggressively in Nigerian financial sector. So she's not coming for decoration. She's coming to state serious growth decisions. It's not going to be easy. You know, when you climb, that is how the tax goes with you. Let's talk about her education and global exposure. She is highly trained. She has economics degree, UK, MBA, Nigeria, Masters in Corporate Governance, UK, and executive programs at Harvard, Stanford, Cambridge, INSEAD. This is global level training, not local only. Now let's get to the next story. Onuachu is on the verge of making history at Trabzonspor. He's close to becoming the highest scoring foreign player in a single season for the club. As of now, he has scored 22 league goals. This season, he needs 3 goals to beat Alexander Selot's 24 goals, plus 4 goals to break the all-time foreign record held by Sota Avled's 25 goals. Why this is serious, this is not a small achievement at all. Onuachu has scored about 40% of his team's total goal this season. He's currently the top scorer in the Turkish league, carrying the team's attack almost alone. With that guy height, if you see that guy height, he can carry the whole team. His height is like, don't know whether it's up to 7 feet. Very tall. Without him, Trabzonspor would struggle badly, sincerely. So what makes it even more impressive is that he struggled in England with Southampton. Many people thought his career was dropping, but now he has revived his career in Turkey. He is now one of the most dangerous strikers in Europe this season. He is chasing a club history record. Now let's round up with Nollywood. Something happened, not so bad. There's a loss, but we thank God for his life. Veteran Nigerian actor Davis Offor, popularly known as Clarus, has sadly passed away at the age of 85. Who was Clarus? He became famous for his role in the classic TV sitcom New Masquerade. Some say Zebrodaya Korigwenwogo. He played the character Clarus Mbojikwe, a funny, loyal houseboy. The show aired from the 1970s to 1990s was one of the Nigeria's most loved TV shows. Edikwansa Diodio is a Kamana Nedio. No, you know the song, the song that they used to start and close the program. So in those days, New Masquerade was not just entertainment, it was family time across Nigeria. And here's what we know about his death. His death was confirmed by fellow actor Tony Akposheri. You know him now. The announcement came through an emotional tribute. Cause of the death is not yet disclosed. Wow. His colleague described him as a man full of warmth, humor, and life. They had even spent time together during the New Year celebrations. We saw pictures of them recently. Yeah, I can remember. And they made plans not knowing he would pass soon. Clarus was not just an actor, he was part of the Nigeria's early TV history. Helped shape comedy in the Nollywood before Nollywood became big, and he brought laughter into millions of homes. Back then, characters like Zebediah, Ovularia, Jegede, and Clarus, and you have Gregory, they were household names across Nigeria. This is one of the pioneers of the Nigerian entertainment industry. The generation that built Nigerian TV is slowly fading away. They are slowly fading. Legends like Clarus laid the foundation for today's Nollywood. What do you think? Add your comment on the comment section. This is where we draw the curtain on this one. Thanks for watching. I'm Azuka Oji. I say bye-bye for now.